Hi, today in this video I'm going to play around with UV unwrapping and texture painting of some mathematical solids. So let's get started. So the first thing, we're going to do a comparison between the cube and something called an icosahedron. So I have added the built-in add-on that's in both available in Blender 2.8 and in 2.79, the extra mesh functions. And to make it interesting, we're going to change our item type to icosahedron, and we'll go through and we're going to UV unwrap them. Let's tell you what we'll do. Let's unwrap the easier one first. New. Since we're going to work on two different objects, we need to name them so that we can figure out which one's which. Okay, there's our cube. And then we're going to do the icosahedron. Obviously, it's not going to work if we do that kind. So at first blush, we're going to do a smart UV project. And then create another new image. Okay, so first off, we're going to try and show you the difference between them by showing you the, oh, and we need to get into do the shading for both of them also. So we click our shading menu, and before I keep forgetting that, let's turn on the shortcut thingies so you can see what buttons I'm pushing over here. Shift A, texture, image texture, connect it, and it's the cube, so we got the right one selected for there. And now let's pick the other guy. I want to try and change the name. Not that it's needed. Shift A, texture, image texture, connect it, and we'll call that one, and that's the icosahedron. Okay. Now, if we go to paint, let's pick which one we're going to paint on as the cube first. Right. So what you've seen me do this in the past is, and this one is, we need to get up into, there we go. Okay, so if we wanted to paint each one of the faces a different color, it's going to be pretty easy to do because we're going to use the shortcuts on our number pad and just tap a like number 1 for the front view. And let's see, I'm going to change the radius a little bit and then change the strength, and we'll go back and change the curve for this thing with a sharp cutoff. Okay, so we can go ahead and paint that face. And as you can see over here, we don't have any spillover, nothing came out onto any of the other faces. So if we go to just pick an adjacent face, top, and we get the top like so, got the top, and if we look closely there, we have no spillover. Although we have a little bit on the edges there, which I don't understand. I think that's a peculiarity in, let's see, can we fix that easily? We'll pick, pick this again, go back and pick the color. Yeah, got it. Okay, so the whole point of this was to show you how with an object that has a small number of faces that you can, just show one face visible at a time. It's relatively easy to paint it without spilling over. So now if this had more faces and we try to paint one face at a time with a unique color, well, it's black, so we're having a little trouble with seeing it. Will this help us a little? Not much. But nevertheless, we're having a little trouble seeing the border. But nevertheless, it's going to be very difficult to do. So let's try it on our other object here. So we get into object mode, select the other one, and go into paint mode on that one. And how are we going to paint this one? Okay, for instance, here's a face here. Well, one way we could do it would be make the brush really small, or relatively small. We paint like so. And then make it really tiny and then try and get in among there. But that would be difficult to do and tedious. So there's a couple ways to do this. Here's one way to do, well, first way we might want to try it is, let's go back into UV editing and let's change this unwrap here. In fact, that is kind of an ugly unwrap anyhow. Do a smart UV project and change the island margin, the space between it. Let's pick that. And now we've separated them out a little bit. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it moved them apart a little bit. And that helps, so we can go in and paint them, but we still have problems with these guys here connecting. So how about let's try another trick here. Try Smart UV Project. We'll change the angle to, I don't know, 45 degrees. Will that do it? No, it didn't. Excuse me. Now we're making some progress here. As you can see, they're separated nicely. And in fact, we can even make it even a little better. Is we could do this. We could change the island margin to 0. I don't know, 5. Ooh, that's a lot. But anyhow, as you can see, now we got lots of room. But we're wasting a lot of our texture here. So if you're going to use this particular method, I would suggest that you go through and let's do this. Unwrap, change that back to 0.02. And then try and pack these a little bit, like R180, rotate it, and then Control L, and move it over here. Rotate 180. Actually, we could just, oops. How about R60? That work? Yeah. Not quite. Control L, G. So after a lot of tedious work, what we could end up doing is we could move these things around. As you can see, we're freeing up space, and we could expand them. Still a little too tedious for my taste. Let's pick a better way to do this. Let's go back into a Smart UV project, and we'll clean that back up a little bit. Now we're going to go back into Paint and look at this guy, Face Selection for Painting. We click that, and now I gotta make a confession type of thing. Well, I have a problem. I'm running a version of Linux which intercepts the Alt key for a lot of things. What this function needs to do is you need to go in here and hit a left click. An Alt left click to pick that one face. But like you can see, it's picking my background, and Linux is intercepting it. So I can do this trick. So we go into Edit mode, hit Face Select, and then pick that one face, and then go back into Texture Painting. Now we can do this. Let's see if we can't. We need to. Where's my color selector? Pick my brush size, and we draw an image on there. And hey, how about that? We only got one face drawn on. So we could pick what happened to my color select tools? Ah, right. Okay, so we pick a different color for an adjacent face. And as you can see, you can't paint on it. So we go back into Edit mode. Left click to select. Back to Texture Paint. And then we can paint on that guy without any bleed over. So anyhow, that's the technique that I wanted to show you, is how you could either change the unwrapping to give you more space over here in the UV editing entry, or do the face painting here. And if you're using Windows or some other variation of Linux or the other operating system, maybe you're lucky enough to where you can hit the Alt key and then left click to select that face without having to go, as I have to go into Edit mode first, select the face, then go back into Texture Paint and select it thusly. Okay, that's about it. Hopefully you and I are both gonna learn at the same time here. I am not an expert by any means, but I'm learning Blender, and I'm learning Blender 2.80. And I'm loving this new version of Blender. It is very nice and very stable. So thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, click subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye.